yes, just remember if you can change your name on the Zoom to your actual name in case it says iPhone or Samsung. But it's really appreciative you being here and on time as always, because we love to be punctual. But we'll get started for day 3 of the People's Social Impact Conference. I'm your host, Ryan Knight, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network and board member of Setsi, the social economy through social inclusion, with my brother Victor, who's been leading the charge, making sure that we get these enlightening conversations. And we're going to continue that with Raul from the Parkdale Innovation Center. But just before we jump into that conversation, we always like to begin all things by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands we are on. We also acknowledge our ancestors. We acknowledge all those who have toiled without compassion or compensation. We acknowledge all the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. Again, it's a real pleasure to have her with us today. I've met her and seen her work and definitely been able to work with their colleagues at Parkdale. So I would love to give the floor to you to give a bit of background on the work that you're doing with Parkdale, and we'll start the conversation.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much, Victor, for the invite. My name is Rusul Alrubail, and I'm the founder and executive director of Parkdale Centre for Innovation. We're a not-for-profit incubator, and we support entrepreneurs to start and grow their businesses with a focus on inclusion and equity. We run a few programs throughout the year. We are best known for the early stage program for entrepreneurs. Our Women Founders program is an awesome program that runs every year. And our Media Lab, we actually have a studio in the location at Parkdale. And we recently launched a Future Skills program with support from Google Canada that supports free scholarships to access Google career certificates. I'm really glad to be here today. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I want to make sure I get the pronunciation right. Is Rusul?
It's Rusul, yes.
Rusul.
It's kind of like RUSAL, but it's
okay.
Immigrants. Like our parents make up our names as we come to this country.
Valid.
How should I spell it?
And it's our pleasure to have you here as our keynote and really going into the context of the work that you do at Parkdale. We'd love to give you the floor so you can go a bit deeper into the work that you do, the remarkable work that you've been doing.
Thank you so much. So I founded Parkdale Centre back in 2017 to close the innovation and entrepreneurship gap in the sector. As I was an entrepreneur at this time, and I was also a professor at Seneca College, but I started a business on the side. Now they are called side hustles. Back in the day, we didn't have that word. But I just started a side hustle at that time. And there weren't many initiatives or incubators or institutions that focused on equity and supporting underestimated founders. So being in those spaces, going to the Mars and, even being at CSI, I was one of the only ones that looked like myself. And so launching the center was the point where we kind of started getting pushed a little bit out of the entrepreneurship space, and we decided, why not create a space where entrepreneurs from diverse backgrounds can have the right support that they need to start a business without anyone underestimating them, or telling them that they can't do this, or your idea is not great, or all of the barriers that come with it, access to funding, access to resources. And so we launched the center in 2018. We opened up the space. I incorporated in 2017. Right now we're on the corner of Queen and Lansdowne. But I see a lot of folks who might be here entrepreneurs themselves. So they understand that launching a business is a very tough thing. We had no core funding, and we still have no core funding at Parkdale Centre. And so kind of breaking those barriers, especially as a woman who looks like myself, and going and trying to fundraise for such a big initiative was and it still is tough. But I persevered. There's still a lot of barriers to persevere through. We're not out of the water yet. We didn't get renewed funding from one of our main funders last year, and so it's hurdle after her. I'm not making this sound easy, am I?
Hey, this is
I think
reality.
what's really important, it's reality. I mean, the good thing is of building Parkdale Centre is we built a reputation for ourselves being, one of the first incubators that supports people that are from diverse backgrounds, right before it became a trend. I don't want to say this, but that's what happened, um, especially after 2020, unfortunately. And so there was a lot of lip service about diversity and everything, but when we launched, we didn't talk about BIPOC. We didn't like say immigrants or newcomers, but we did the work and we supported our people. And so our people gravitated to Parkdale Centre just for that. I had someone come and bring a newspaper. We were featured in the Globe and Mail on the actual newspaper. And he said, I heard there is an incubator here for people that look like us. And he pointed at the article that I was featured in. And I will always remember that, because he just came all the way to Parkdale from Lakeshore. And so people gravitate towards Parkdale Centre from all over the GTA, from other priority neighborhoods in the city.
Yeah, and I've traveled there from Brampton. So making
There
sure
you go.
you're in the heart of Toronto. So being able to occupy that space is really needed. But as you said, it is, I don't want to say it's a grind, but it's definitely not for the faint of heart. So I'm curious what types of collaborations would help with the amplification of your work.
Yes, thank you. It is not for the faint of hearts. What type of collaborations? I think right now we need people on the ground at the location. We are looking for space funding, but that's something it's a really tough thing to find. So who knows? You might hear a next chapter story soon coming out from Parkdale Centre. But I'm looking forward to some of the initiatives that we recently launched. Future Skills with Google Canada provides access to free Google scholarships for career certificates in UX design, in project management, marketing and e-commerce, and data analytics. And so instead of having to pay for these certificates, participants from Parkdale Centre can access them for free. So that's really exciting because a lot of people want to upskill. A lot of entrepreneurs also want to access these skills, but they can't afford to pay for a certificate. And so that provides them that opportunity. Another thing I'm really excited about, and we haven't really officially launched, but I want to kind of give a bit of a sneak peek. Women Founders is going to launch with a really exciting partner in May. We're going to make that announcement soon. So if you are a women founder and you're looking for a network of support and an awesome program to go through to work on your business roadmap and get all of your stuff ready to fundraise or just start actually making money with your business, join us. Keep an eye out on our website. It's an awesome program. It was first funded actually by a Setsi partner, Alternate Savings. So they were the first funders of Women Founders Program back in 2019. So I'm really excited for that announcement to come through soon.
Love that. And we're big fans of Alternative Savings, especially Susan Henry, who's going to be on a panel coming up later in the conference. But for
Nice.
yourself, with these key priorities happening, I'm curious any trends that you've seen as you've been working with so many entrepreneurs. And again, before it was the in thing to do, that you're noticing that entrepreneurs need help with, that you're able to provide at the center.
Yeah, so a lot of entrepreneurs come to the center, and one of the key challenges that they say it is to, first of all, I mentioned it myself a few times, is funding and capital. That's one of the, like, we know this is now a known, like we shouldn't even mention it.
No more need for research. We know this.
No more, we know this. And so the other challenge that entrepreneurs come through, they said, I need support with marketing. I need to get my product out there and get people to know about it. And so I need to be on social media. I need to be on the TikTok. I need to be on, I say that TikTok because I am old. I don't use TikTok.
I'm inching my way onto it.
And so, they want to know the ways. And so one of the things that I feel like it's one of the myths to dispel when it comes to entrepreneurship is being on social media and the start of your business, the launch of your business. Well, that's really important. It's important to also get all of our ducks in a row first before we start um, sharing about it on Instagram. It's not a main focus. And so it sucks a lot of entrepreneurs' time and energy to create this content, to create a profile, to create these reels and videos and upload them. But they don't often, unfortunately, result in product sales or business development or making those dollars that we need. And so one of the first things we focus on is getting the entrepreneurs to focus on writing a business roadmap that's really strong, having goals and metrics. These metrics and goals written down, they need to follow them and be like, okay, so my 3 months goal is to sell to 15 clients. I need to get that done. How can I do that? And maybe Instagram is not your best friend to do that. And maybe it's actually taking away that time for you to go outside and do business development to get those 15 clients. So that's one of the things that we kind of work with entrepreneurs through these challenges. A lot of entrepreneurs feel like they have that as a challenge, but it's really focusing on other things that might be more important at the start of your journey.
And I love that you use the word focus, because I find that's one thing, especially as entrepreneurs, we are very shiny object syndrome. They say it's like everything, and especially with social media, you never know what is the main end thing. But I noticed you light up when you talk about helping entrepreneurs. And I'm curious, what is it that keeps you excited about this work, even though it's so difficult? Every day you're there working with the community. So I was curious, what is that keeps you going?
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for understanding and mentioning the difficulty of it working with the community. Unfortunately, some of the biggest pushbacks we receive is from the community itself. Like, I have to mention this because it's a real thing. When we launched the center, a lot of people thought we were part of the gentrification process here happening in Parkdale. And until 2 days ago, received a really odd email from DIA in Parkdale, telling that. I don't even want to get into it, but there's a real pushback for folks that look like us that are doing really great work, and especially when they see that we are actually doing good work, unfortunately. And so going through that is a lot. But the one thing that keeps me going is all of the stories that I hear about the impact that Parkdale Centre has had on people. So we have been part of entrepreneurs and startups journey at the very early stage of their career. Some of those folks might recognize it, some of them might not. But for example, Women Founders Program, they come in at a really early stage and we help them figure out like, hey, is entrepreneurship a good thing for me to do or not? Maybe now it's not the right time. And helping them figure that out actually saves them tons of time and gets them on the right path, whether it's their career or entrepreneurship. So hearing those stories and say, I realized this, or like I launched my business and Parkdale Centre was a pivotal point as part of my journey, it's what makes us really we look forward to it. Some people take our programs and then out of nowhere, like they finish and they complete, and I don't hear from them for like 2 years, but then I see that they've fundraised $1.5 million, and I'm like, hey, like she took early stage. Yes. I know that person, even though they don't, they don't mention Parkdale Centre, they don't recognize, they might not even remember they were part of the cohort. They might, I'm sure they do. But seeing that kind of come out of the center is a really big deal for us because we are, at the end of the day, creating new businesses. We're helping create new jobs in the economy, and more importantly, we're supporting diverse founders, and that's exactly why we launched to begin with. Always going back to the why. Why do we do this?
Yeah, and one thing that I would encourage is, I know like you're humble, even I work with your colleague Mohammed Mustafa that is humble as well, but really bragging about yourself. The work is so remarkable, making sure that that word gets out there. And just as we're closing, would love to get your closing thoughts and even calls to action for the audience of what we can do to support your work. Like those letters that you're getting you have soldiers ready to go out to bat for you. So yeah, I would love to get your closing thoughts.
I think I might be asking you guys for those letters soon, so please stay tuned. But to support our work, please check out our website. We do great work. We run awesome programs and we support great people. So check out our website, check out our programs, see if there's something in it that's for you. If not, we also need volunteers. We need mentors to support entrepreneurs who are starting.
Yeah.
So if you are a seasoned entrepreneur, we need your expertise to join our community, sign up and support entrepreneurs who are just starting up. I'm also looking for facilitators. I'm looking for folks to run sessions, to do events and all types of stuff. So there's always opportunities to support and be part of the community. And I look forward to connecting. I want to drop, Ryan, do you mind dropping my LinkedIn here? I don't know if people can access my LinkedIn profile. Maybe I could just do it really quickly. But if you want to chat, if you are thinking about entrepreneurship, if you have any questions, please feel free to connect with me. Not always available. I do have to mention that I'm currently on mat leave, but I do work.
Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Taking the time. Yeah.
Of course. So but I am available. I check my emails and I'm dabbling into work as an entrepreneur. It's really hard to kind of be fully
Absolutely.
off. I'm here. I just dropped in my LinkedIn if you want to connect with me and learn more about our work and be part of the
Perfect.
community.
And again, we really appreciate your time and your remarkable leadership in the community. And we'll close the way that we began by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands we are on. We also acknowledge our ancestors. We acknowledge all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We acknowledge all the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. Rusul, this has been a wonderful conversation. I've always wanted to, sit down with you. So I'm glad that the People's Social Impact Conference was a place that we could do it and have a conversation. Keep up the great work. We're going to be following and supporting. And for those that are joining us today, we'll see you at the next session in about 10 minutes. So take a break and we'll continue the People's Social Impact Conference. Thank you so much for being here to start off with our.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate your time.